everyone, it's Mari here for Honeybee Stamps. I'm going to be creating this card for you today using my Zig markers and the gorgeous Sending Christmas Joy collection from Honeybee. And these are the products from that Sending Christmas Joy. We've got that gorgeous stamp set on the right, which is stunning, and of course the coordinating die on the left. This was designed by Kelly Taylor for Honeybee Stamps, and I just love it. It is, of course, as always from Kelly, just so gorgeous. I'm going to start off here with some watercolor paper in my MISTI, and I'm going to ink up the stamps here with some clear embossing ink. And so I'm just going to go ahead and give that a really good press. And I'm going to put some white embossing powder over top of that embossing ink stamped image or images there. And that embossing powder, of course, is going to adhere to that clear ink. And that is going to allow me to go ahead and do some heat embossing with these images. I'll just shake off the extra embossing powder. I've put that away. And now I've got my heat tool here. I'm just going to go ahead and heat up this embossing powder until it melts. And that's just going to give me this really great bunch of florals to go ahead and watercolor. So I'm just waiting for all of those different little bits to turn shiny and melt. And once I have that all done, I will be ready to go ahead and add some pigment to these images here. So I'm going to be using a mid-green and a blue-gray Zig marker. Of course, these are really great for watercoloring because they are a water-based marker. And I've just added a little bit of water to the image first with my brush. And then I went in with the marker, added the pigment, and then of course blending it out with my brush. And I'm really trying to manage the amount of water on my watercolor paper with my brush. So once I get that water added onto the image, if I need to take some of the water off, I just absorb that with my dry brush. And if I need to obviously add some water in, I just dip my brush into my container and then go ahead and work on drawing out that pigment in that way. So these brushes are really super easy to work with. They're pretty similar to the Karen markers. They work basically in the same way. The tips of the brush or the actual brush itself is a little bit different on the Karen marker than on the Zig. But I haven't used these for quite a while, and I thought I would just pull them out today. They are really fun to use, and they do make watercoloring really easy. So you can just see here, I'm just doing that same process over and over again, adding the water first to the paper, going in with the marker, and then just blending that pigment out on the petals. And you can go back in and drop in more color if you need to add more shadows and shading and so on. But I definitely did that as I worked through this process wherever I wanted to deepen up any of the dark gray that I'm putting in there. And then the green that I'm using, like I said, is just that mid-green, and it's just really pretty with this blue-gray. And you can just, there's not actually that many leaves in this floral bouquet, but just enough to add that little pop of green. I love that. And I did do the centers of the flowers in green as well. And now they're all finished up there, really gorgeous and ready to go ahead and die cut. There is a coordinating die for all of these different images, which is fantastic. And so when this is all dry, I do go ahead and take that to my die cutter and cut those different images out. And I'll just set those aside until I'm ready to go ahead and put those onto my card front today. So loving how that is looking. This stamp set is just so easy to work with. Beautiful. Now this is the new 3D brick embossing folder from Honeybee and the Cozy Christmas collection. And I'm going to just take my white piece of cardstock here and go ahead and run that through this 3D embossing folder with my die cutting machine. And that's going to give me just a really great brick background for my florals. Once I have that done, I'm just taking it to my trimmer, and I'm going to trim it to a really nice small size. I think it's about 4x3 when I get it all trimmed down. And that is going to be just the perfect size to back my florals for my card front here. So just getting that so that I've got just kind of like the bricks are even on the top and the bottom. And now I've just also cut out a mat for the brick piece here. out of some navy blue cardstock. And then I also used the Sending Christmas Joy die that's like the postage die. I die cut that from some gray cardstock and adhered that onto my white top folding card base. So I'm just going to put the brick onto that mat. I've added a little bit of foam adhesive onto the navy cardstock. I'll center that onto the gray, and I like that combination. I think it's really kind of nice and soft, but the navy is just that really nice pop of darker color there, and it goes really nicely with the blue-gray in the zig markers. So I'm just adding some foam adhesive onto the back of this floral bouquet. I'll go ahead and add that onto the brick, and then I'm going to add these other die cut pieces over top. I'm going to overlay this over top of the large floral below it, and then the same with this other little bud. Now you could add these over to the side or whatever. It's just that my card front is, my focal point area is fairly small, so I just thought it would be kind of cool to layer these in that way. Now I'm going to take a little bit of white splatter and splatter this over top of the entire front of the card just to give it that little bit of dimension. And then once I'm finished that, all I have to do is stamp out and die cut my sentiment from the Sending Christmas Joy set, and it will all be finished. I did want to just say that this obviously is not a traditional Christmas card look. It is very non-traditional, sort of like Christmas colors. But what I wanted to show here with this video is this set is definitely beautiful for the holidays, but you could definitely use it all year round. Thanks for joining me today, friends. All of the products I've used today are linked up in the description box below. I'll see you again soon. Take care. Bye-bye.